Okay guys, welcome back. If this is the first time you have watched this video, I highly encourage you to click on the link below so that way you can follow through this training series where all the previous videos have been listed on the link below. So highly encourage you to click on it so that way you can keep track of how we have gotten to this point and all the future videos that you're going to be seeing. So what we are going to do is we're going to build this screen that we see on our screen, obviously, duh, right? So we're gonna build all the code that will require for us to build the screen here. So let's get started. So in here, what we are gonna do is rather than me typing everything for you guys line by line, and that's kind of boring and repetitive, and not to mention the fact that it's, well, boring. So what I did for you, I already typed up everything for you line by line. What I'm going to do now is go line by line, explain to you what actually each line of the code does, so that way you can do it yourself if you need to. And also if you need to download any part of this code, you can obviously click on the link below and download it from there. And so let's get this started or building our templates. So the first line of code is which is just h1 tag, and then this particular class is just a bootstrap, and in here just a task manager, nothing special here. So basically what this does is it's going to add a h1 tag with the label of task manager, and it's going to center this text where it says task manager and put it in the middle of the screen. That's all, nothing special going on there, guys. And also this particular block of code, what it does is it's just going to add buttons. So it's going to add 3 buttons. Which first one is the add new button, and then also it's going to add view all tasks, delete all tasks. And also when you look at this right here where it says btn underscore add underscore new, these are the class names that we are going to be using when we want to trigger it when somebody clicks on this button. So just keep that in mind. So add new button, btn, add new button, btn, view, btn, delete all. So these are the classes that we are going to be using if you want to trigger some event later on this video series. So that's that. And then this particular div basically acts as your screen container, so to speak. So let me put this in perspective for you. So I'm gonna bring this up. So right now where you see this window right here where it says add new task. So if we hide this behind the screen, or picture this for a second, right here where it says add new task, just think of this as going to be your main screen container where you're going to put stuff in. So think of this as like your bucket. Sometime you want to put an orange in your bucket, sometime you want to put an apple in your bucket, or whatever it is. You have this one container that you can put stuff in and take stuff out, and that's all this div does, is, and hence the name screen data. Anytime you want to put in data in here, you put in here, and then you want to take it out, you just use this class name and just take it out. And then underneath it is the template that we see, which also has the name of template underscore new task. And also you probably noticed that there is a class called screen, and there's also class in the screen data, and also there's a class called screen in here. So the reason why I put that in there, as if you have watched any of my previous training video series, I call one class to all the different divs. So in case if I want to hide it, rather than me saying, hey, go hide the edit screen, or go hide the add new screen, or go hide the delete screen, or whatever, I could just say hide all the screen first, then go on, show me the screen that I want to see. So in this case, right now there are only 2 screens. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide all the screens by calling this screen class name. And then I'm going to say, okay, take this stuff from the template and dump it in here. And we will go through all of those stuff later on. But I just want to show you I just want to tell you rather what is more to come in on the future video. So let's go on with this one. So in here we have a container called template, and within this container there is this div, which is your bootstrap block of code. So let me bring the other screen up so you can see it. So basically this blue line thing where it says add new task. So if I bring it up here side by side, maybe I could squeeze it in right here. So this line of code right here where it says add new task is this. And then the next block of code, which is the body, which is everything that's in here, So let's go there, and I made it kind of easy for you guys where it says task names. I'll label it for you. So this line of code basically just acts as like a, where did it go? This right here. So it has a name associated with it, and then the input field, and then also the next line of code, which is the completion date. And this is where I wanted to show you. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but in HTML5, there are different kind of data types you can pick. There's one that's called text, which is very well known, and then another one is very well known is called the number. But there's also one that's called date. If you put that in any one of the field, it just acts it as a calendar. So for example, and I put the date in here, it's called the completion date one, as you see right now, and I just called it date as a type. So by me putting just this line of code, it takes that regular input field and turns it into a calendar. I can go backward, forward, or years in this case, or whatever the case might be, or I could just go today. So it just acts as a calendar. So this is really, really powerful, guys. So that's that second field. And then third field, nothing special, it's just a text box. So which is this in here. So let's go through each one of those fields, what their names are. So for the task name, I try to keep things simple and very organized. I just call the task name without any spaces, uppercase, as they call it in some of that desktop application. Camel cases, I just call it uppercase, that's all. And then for the task date, completion date is just called a task date. And then for the description, I'll just call it task descript. And that's that. And then in here, the button, which is, as you see right now, it says view all tasks. And the reason why the reason why you don't see any save in here or anything else like that is because when I use this class, as you will see in the future video, I'm just going to use this class and call this class, and then I can change this text to be whatever I want it to be. And you will see how powerful that becomes. So you can on the fly change or add or delete new buttons on the fly rather than you creating a different container. So you just can create one container, and on the fly you can change the button name to be whether it be a save, whether it'll be edit or delete or whatever the case might be. I learned this trick by accident, to be honest. I was just playing around with it rather than me like, okay, I have 3 different containers I want to create. I can create them 3 different containers, and each container is like 30 lines of code. And as you will start to learn more and more about these programming things, you will want to save time where you can, first of all, and second of all, save line of codes where you can. So in my case, I didn't want to duplicate the work by adding 30 lines of code 3 different times. So that'd be like 90 lines of codes. Although it's not really a big deal, but if you look at a grand scheme of things, if your mind start to think like, okay, if I could save a line of code here and 10 lines of code here, at the end of your application, you want to save like 5,000 lines. Rather than having 15,000 lines, you only have 5,000 lines. So just start thinking that way. So that's the technique where I came and I said, I'm just going to give it a generic name. And then when I'm ready for certain thing to happen, I'm going to call that button to be something else. And then based on the class of the button, I can trigger a different task to perform. It may not seem very powerful right now, but wait until you see. When we look at the future videos and you're like, oh my God, Mark, this is mind-blowing. And you were like, okay, Mark, yeah, whatever, right? If I were you, I'd be thinking the same thing. But you just wait until the future video. When you see that, it's like, holy crap, like, wow. And you want to be like using this particular strategy in your coding as well. So without any further ado, I think we'll end this video right here, because we pretty much have developed the buttons up here, and we also developed this particular screen container called a template. So what I'm going to do is I add a line of code here up top where it says style, and I'll just call it display. So pretty much it's going to hide it when it loads up. And so let me see, display equal none And if I save that now and I go back in here and refresh it, I'm expecting to see this disappear completely on page load. And then voila, boom. Okay, so next video, what we are going to do is we're going to navigate through each one of these buttons and start adding stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video.